Let's start with the Chad Gable plots, since it appears that there are a lot of possible directions for this story right now. Chad Gable's entire adventure is now everything began in January when he fell to Penta in Penta's first ever WWE encounter. The character played by Chad Gable has always considered himself an authority on professional wrestling in general, but after losing to Penta, he came to the realization that Lucha Libre was his weakest area. He grew fixated on learning Lucha Libre after realizing that his understanding of that particular wrestling genre and style was inadequate. As a result, he sought assistance from Dominik Mysterio, who provided him with his enigmatic contact details. Chad Gable then purchased the $500 box containing the mask, and the March 10th edition of Raw brought us to the present. A masked man wearing an American-made Lucha Libre mask made an appearance ringside to remove the LDO members during the bout between the LDO and New Day. The man wearing the mask never showed his face, but he shared Chad Gable's physique, mannerisms, and even movements. This man in a mask was eventually pursued by security to the backstage area. Because of all those similarities to Chad Gable, the crowd, Kathy Kelly, and the commentary crew all identified the man in the mask as Chad Gable. However, that's when everyone was given the surprise. After the attack, Kathy Kelly confronted an unmasked Chad Gable backstage and asked him why he had attacked the LDO in that manner earlier in the evening. Gable completely denied being responsible for the attack and said that it was absurd that a fan could cross the barricade and participate in such a fantastic match. Kathy calls out Chad Gable for actually claiming that he was going to learn Lucha Libre just before he left a few weeks ago, and that the attacker matches everything he is wearing. Gable keeps denying, and Kathy tells him to stop lying. This was just before the masked attacker could be seen in the background being dragged away by security, suggesting and validating Chad's claim that he and the attacker are two different people. That is a huge twist. Although Chad Gable officially returned with the Lucha Libre mask, fans assumed he would just do so. However, the plot is now shifting to suggest that Chad and the masked person are two different individuals. Which fan theories are the most compelling here? The first reliable source of information is the American-made Lucha Masks WWE shop website, which provides a brief overview of the person wearing it. A mysterious masked man has joined American-Made's ranks and is a force to be reckoned with, reads the WWE shop description of the mask. Get this Lucha mask to demonstrate your support for this new Luchator. This Lucha Libre mainstay gets a suitable patriotic touch thanks to the American-made artwork and the red, white, and blue hues. Final quotation, the first phrase is undoubtedly the most important piece of information there. It states that the masked man is now formally a new member of the American-made faction. On the March 10th episode of Raw, Chad Gable did not identify the attacker as one of his own guys or disclose any association with him. Gable stated simply that it must have been a fan who was unaware of the identity of that person. Perhaps Chad Gable is simply hiding it for the time being for whatever reason, but in the upcoming weeks, he will formally include this person in the group. Some fans are talking about how this mask plot might be extended a little more and how Penta's brother, Rey Fenix, might ultimately be responsible for the big reveal of the identity of the enigmatic Lucha Libre. Since this plot began with Gable's defeat by Penta, there has been a lot of conjecture and conversation regarding Fenix joining his brother and signing with WWE. Fans are seriously wondering whether that is the big surprise. It is widely believed that Chad Gable is the one hiding behind the mask and that he is lying. But the truth is that he had actually enlisted Rey Fenix as his American-made Lucha Libre star who was disguised. Since Chad Gable recently returned, this veiled narrative is officially only in its first week, but fans are saying that so far, this story is giving them strong Elias and Ezekiel vibes. Although it appears that Chad Gable will be the one wearing the mask, he will always deny it and accuse everyone of being crazy for believing it to be him. Eventually, they might make a major announcement to indicate that it was actually Chad Gable wearing the mask, or they might repeat what they did on March 10th and have both Chad Gable and the person wearing the mask in the same room at the same time. Therefore, even though the plot is a little bit ridiculous, Chad Gable is amazing and can make anything work, so he should definitely keep the story feeling compelling. Additionally, the plot now has a mystery aspect about who is truly hiding behind the mask. Thus, the entire subject ought to sustain fan interest and hypotheses. Thus, keep an eye out for this plot, since it seems like the new American-made Lucha Libre star will be making more turns soon. Tension in the Judgment Day has been steadily increasing for weeks, and Finn is essentially alone on an island against the rest of the crew. Although JD McDonough was Finn's guy and always saw things from his point of view, now that JD is gone, Finn feels somewhat alone and has no one in the group who really supports him. Dominik Mysterio informed Finn Balor at this week's Raw that he had secured an Intercontinental title matchup with Braun Breaker for the next week's Raw. Dominik offered Finn a large hug after Finn abruptly stopped acting hostilely toward him. Dominik made a tiny face during the embrace, but as soon as it was over, he resumed grinning at Finn. Thus, this segment demonstrates once more that Dominik Mysterio is the one who will be taking the major actions on the Day of Judgment. And for the past few weeks, Dominik has been the one who is actually finishing tasks. He has secured this title match for Finn, assisted Liv and Raquel in winning tag team belts, and Dominik is currently driving that momentum. Additionally, supporters are coming to believe that Dominik's covert strategy and objective are still in place because of the way he is tying everything together with all these significant actions. On the surface, Dominik appears to be a good friend for earning Finn the championship battle, but given who he is and the small smile he gave during the embrace, there is undoubtedly something going on here that neither Finn Balor nor the audience are aware of. By not going down to the ring to help Finn Balor with Braun Breaker and allowing him to handle things alone in a clean loss, the Judgment Day may be setting him up for another failure. Or some of your supporters believe that this title bout could be the scene of another Judgment Day screwjob. What do you think of today's stories? It's just a big moment of the Judgment Day officially kicking Finn Balor out, and who knows? Maybe Dominik Mysterio doesn't waste any time and immediately brings out his newly recruited Judgment Day member that he's been hinting at for weeks. In any case, whatever happens during that title match next week will advance the story between Finn Balor and the Judgment Day in a big way. Dominik is up to something big, and even Liv Morgan seems a little unaware of his true intentions. Please share your thoughts below. Remember to subscribe with all alerts enabled, and hit like if you liked it. Thanks for watching, guys.